Hello, brothers and sisters. I've been looking through historical things and really looking at artifacts and how the world was created and how basically societies were represented throughout history. And we know that Babylon, or what people are expecting to be Mystery Babylon, is an ancient city that basically had hanging gardens, was seen as a beautiful location where Nimrod was a conqueror of men. Now, what we also see is that a lot of the different cultures that resembled Babylon ended up being harlots. So you had like the Romans, where you'd absorb cultures and you'd let them do what they wanted to do, just so long as they embraced or kissed the ring, right? Really follows the satanic, do what you wilt. I don't care what you do, just so long as you worship me. Really does get to that whole point. So if we iterate back a generation, what we've seen from the Arch of Triumph and all these other things is that they were set up like worship halls, where you basically, it's like being in a Masonic temple, or even what we would know as a concert hall, where you have a bunch of people watching one person or a group of people speaking, where you're basically praising a talent, where one thing's elevated over another, which is really the basis of a satanic system. So when you get back to the days of Noah, and you're doing what thou wilt, and the general communication, or the thing that people look forward to, is getting to these large agoras where they can watch and be entertained. The days of Noah were basically filled with people seeking pleasure, whether it be going after men and this, that, and the other, or I would assume in the city, everybody was trying to be entertained. It was always about entertainment. So, how does that apply to now? That's all we do, actually. We've got television, we've got phones. We're even making self-driving cars so we can spend more time entertaining ourselves on a phone. There's more movies and TV shows and Netflix than I know what to deal with. Same thing with Amazon Prime. Same thing with almost everything. There's just a plethora of content where you can just be constantly entertained and just fulfill the desires of self. You don't have to go outside of your house and talk to your neighbor or go to the grocery store and check yourself out through a cashier. No, all this thing that builds up community and really the value you find in other people. Enjoying God's creation, so to speak. Waking up and looking at the sun, looking at the moon. Taking a sip of a cup of coffee and looking out at a beautiful landscape. Simple things, right? But that's the days of Noah. And I think people like to affiliate it with the Nephilim and all these larger ideals because it stretches past and it assumes this end times it's going to have these aliens and everything else. Which, not saying it might not include some of those deceptions, or at least for some people. But I think the general populace is going to see more of a human explosion on themselves. But you don't have to take my word for it. The way I see the days of Noah is just a really pleasure-seeking group where all they thought about wasn't, loving God first and loving man as himself. It was really about loving myself and doing whatever makes me feel good. And that's what chakras are about. That's what all the New Age religions are about. It's about internal pleasure and internal seeking and internal peace. And if I attain that, it's great. But you know what? You're not helping feed your neighbor. What the hell good does that do? You're just sitting in a meditational stance, looking like an idiot. Whatever. We all have our own vices and everything else. But the days of Noah are here, and it's all based on entertainment. Entertainment. Not Nephilim, not NWO. Entertainment. That's what categorizes the days of Noah, because the thoughts of people's hearts are evil continually. And you can see it in the news, you can see it everywhere else. But that's what it is. God bless you all.